Hello everybody and welcome to another Q&A. Today our art is by Inkblob on DeviantArt, and I love this one. It's actually been around for a really long time, but it's got me and Sherlock and we're holding a human heart like murderers. Also, the theme for the mugs today is all of my mugs that have black cats on them in honor of Sherlock. All right, we're starting. It's happening. It's happening right now. I think my hand is also stuck. Okay, we're good. At Les Snuggles, do you ever watch old Coffee Time episodes? If so, is it weird since they are sometimes kind of diary entries? I don't like to go back and watch old episodes of anything that I make because it makes me cringe real bad. Like, if I go back and watch the very first Press Start to Continue news show, it's like I'm watching an entirely different person because at that time I was so uncomfortable in front of the camera, and it feels kind of the same way with earlier Coffee Time episodes, because the really early ones were before I was really comfortable just talking. Like, talking for a long time in my room, technically by myself. So, no. Unless there's something specific that I'm trying to remember, like what day something happened or anything like that, really. Sometimes I go back to look at my hair. Which sounds so silly. Sometimes I'll go back and be like, oh man, my hair did look good with that color. Maybe I should do that again. I do that sort of weird thing. But no, for the most part, I really avoid looking at older videos of myself. This is a very tiny teacup to be putting a lot of questions in. But hey, it looks like it's overflowing with all of your love. First personal question at Two-Face Rapper. Favorite Twilight Zone episodes? Oh my gosh, I love the William Shatner one. If you guys have never seen the William Shatner Twilight episode, that one is so good. I like how I said Twilight episode, like it's part of the book scene. It's the one where William Shatner is a vampire. No, but Twilight Zone, I really love the one where, I'm gonna spoil some Twilight Zone episodes for you guys. I know that you're really broken up. The one where the lady is being harassed by a UFO. And she's like, oh my god, there are aliens here, like I don't know what to do. And she destroys the ship, and at the end it zooms in, and it turned out that we were the aliens. Like, she was a giant alien from another planet, and we had gone to that planet, and she had destroyed our spaceship, and I was like, what? As a kid, that blew my mind. But yeah, going back to the William Shatner one. You guys should watch the William Shatner one. He keeps seeing like a monster on the wing of a plane, and it is standard beautiful William Shatner glory where he's just like, ah, oh. First, silly question. Boop. At Cass_Hybe. What is your favorite ramen broth and toppings? I really love like miso ramen of pretty much any type. Miso ramen, really miso broths for ramen are my favorite. I always put corn in my ramen, always. I have a friend who introduced me to the idea of asking for garlic with ramen, but I don't like garlic with my spicy ramen. I like it with just like a normal meat broth ramen, but I really love pretty much any type of spicy ramen. Normally turns out to be great. I love having bok choy in my ramen. I like thicker noodles. Some places give you really thin noodles in your ramen, and I'm not all about that. I like the thicker noodles. I normally ask for no meat in my ramen because they always give you like the big slabs of meat. It's just like so much, and you're expected to like pull it apart with your chopsticks. I hate that. So I normally just ask for no meat, like any of the meatiness I get out of the broth, right? And then I just have a ton of vegetables in there. I like having eggs, like boiled eggs inside of there. I don't know, I'm flexible. I like a lot of different types of ramen, but normally if I'm someplace for the first time, I'll try whatever their spicy ramen is. This mug is really, like, the second my hand is in there, I can tell it's not gonna be just smooth sailing trying to get it out of there. Okay. Second work question at the killer HJK. What kind of iTrides and DIYs have you got in store for us? Any spoilers? Ooh, this is a good question. I know that I kind of spoiled you guys on Twitter that I really want to do a big pixel quilt. I've done projects like that before, and so I'm kind of planning out one of those. I have a big table project that I've had shelved for a really long time that I've wanted to do, and now it really feels like that's a possibility for me to be able to do it now that we have a space that we can go and look at, which I'm so excited about. Lots of bigger stuff. I've wanted to work with solar panels before. There are a lot of projects that are in my mind where I'm like, this is something that I absolutely want to do. And I've planned it out to the point of needing to just get the supplies. And I haven't done it yet. So I have those on the shelf, like, ready to go. And those are things that I would love to do as Swords and Stitches episodes. So it's exciting. In terms of not DIYs, I-trieds, I have a big list of I-trieds that I want to do, and all of them are real silly. So those are definitely going to happen as well, but I'm not going to spoil any of them for you because I think that if I say anything, it'll be obvious what it is. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna let it live in the ether. Second, personal questions. Remember, I don't know what these questions are. These are questions that Jeannie gave me, so I am surprised by these. At Enormie, if your life was to be made into a movie, who would the dream cast be? Oh man, somebody asked me on a previous wow, why am I getting all my show names mixed up? Somebody asked me on a previous Q&A who would play me in my own movie, and I can't remember who I said. Oh, I said Kristen Chenoweth because then she could sing all of it and my life movie could be a musical. I remember this now. Okay. Who would the rest of the Dreamcast be? I don't know, guys. That's a lot to think. It's hard enough when somebody asks you, like, if they were to make a movie about your life, who would you want to play yourself? But, like, to cast out everybody, like, who would my mom and dad be? Who would my brother be? Who would Sam be? It's just too much. It's too much, guys. Look, can I just get the entire cast of Wicked to just figure out which roles would suit them best, and then the true musical can begin? That's what I want. Boop, doop, doop, I keep winding up with like 8 different questions in my hand, and then I feel bad when I have to throw the rest back in. At Mr. Cathan's Beatrice. Jazz hands or spirit fingers? Which is the true display of joy? Jazz hands or spirit fingers? They're like kind of the same. Although I guess spirit fingers is when your fingers move and jazz hands is when the whole hand moves, right? That's the difference. I think that jazz hands are easier to just do when you're like really excited, whereas spirit fingers takes a little bit more dexterity. And if sometimes your hands get really tired, you know, but with jazz hands, you feel like you can just do it for a really long time. So I'm going to say that jazz hands are a better expression of joy because it doesn't take a whole lot of thought and pretty much everybody looks good doing it. So you can just, yeah. Sometimes with spirit fingers, it's like, keep it even, keep it even. Last work question. Boopy doopy dooby dups. At McFazer. What do you value most when playing a game? Gameplay, story, graphics, or something else? The story is not entirely important to me. I will say that really bad voice acting, unless it's like bad to the point that it's funny, really bad voice acting is a huge turnoff for me. But like the story doesn't need to be particularly riveting. I actually one of the things that really makes a game for me is the aesthetic of it. Like, what is the art like? What does it look like? How are the menus and the interface? All of that really matters to me a lot, which might sound silly, but depending on the type of game, like I really love puzzle games. I really love games like Phoenix Wright and Danganronpa that have kind of a weird mechanic played in there. So if they're able to make it so that that mechanic looks like it belongs there, that matters so much to me, where it doesn't feel like it's out of place. It feels like it suits the tone. So I guess in a way, mechanics like gameplay is tied into what I think is important, but I just want the whole look of it to feel right as you're playing it, you know? So the story can be dumb, but as long as the art and the gameplay and the mechanics and the interface, as long as all of that works together in a way that really makes sense and looks right, then I'll probably enjoy it. At J Northpen, if you could ask future you one question, what question would you want the answer to? My first inclination is like, what do I wind up doing? You know, what's my end game? Like, how far into the future is this? Is this right before my deathbed so I can literally ask anything about my entire life? Like, all right, let's talk. Was I a good mom? What did I wind up doing with my life? Was I ever comfortably rich? Did I ever make billions of dollars like I kept claiming? Or is it like, you know, you just go to the you of the stable future. Just you once you've got your life kind of figured out and you've had kids and you're settled and you're happy, and hopefully I reach that point of equilibrium where I'm happy and my life is stable. But I'm gonna assume that I can ask. Look, the camera stopped recording, but we're just gonna keep talking. I'm gonna assume that I get to ask the me that is seconds from death, that knows absolutely everything about my life. And I'm going to ask her, what did I wind up doing at the end? What was the best moment of my life? No, maybe I don't want to know that, because then what if I ruin it? Oh shoot, this question is very complicated. I'm gonna ask how many cats I wound up having. There, now it's totally uncomplicated. It's just a silly question that doesn't have repercussions on the rest of my life, except when I go to a shelter and go, maybe this is the 6th cat that I talked about. I should just get it. At Pixel, if you could be any race other than human from any fantasy universe, what would it be and why? I daydream about being a hobbit. I think that a hobbit suits me best. I know a lot of people that are like, oh, if I could be in any fantasy world, I would absolutely be an elf. But I feel like elves are way too, elegant for me. I don't feel like an elf at all. Like, I absolutely feel like I could fit into a hobbit world. It's just like a bunch of little stumpy people that are like, yo, you wanna like kick it? Like feel like hobbits where my heart is. Hobbit or like little goblins. I would absolutely be a little goblin. But I think in terms of lifestyle, hobbit would suit me the best. Just people just chilling, wanting to be people, relax, do whatever, and maybe if I'm lucky, I'll be one of the rare hobbits that goes on a little adventure and then comes back with crippling psychological issues. Anyway, that is the end of my Q&A. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions, and we will talk again in a couple of weeks. Sweet. Bye!